Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to this episode of Sports Uncorked Girl Dad Edition. On this episode, we are joined by our dads while we do our normal, unhinged talks and takes about everything happening in college sports. So let's get to it.
My martini's 31 and no need to test me. On my worst behavior, but at least I'm with my besties.
We got a lot of madness happening in college football this week, and as always, the last games in the last week of November is always the big rivalry games. I think that there are some rivalry games that are a little bit more unhinged than others.
We knew that there were going to be a lot of playoff contention kind of shakeups that were possible with rivalry weekend. So there are 11 teams that are playing between 4 and 14. There are 11 of those. 9 of those teams are going to play on the road this weekend.
Right.
Win probability of all 9 of those teams, there's only a 7% chance of all 9 of those winning. So chaos is going to ensue, right? Also, there was a 37% chance of at least 3 of those teams losing. So if we think about what our show next week is going to look like, there are going to be big upsets. Big upsets.
Oh, yeah. We don't really understand why we call the Ole Miss versus Mississippi State game the Egg Bowl, but it's always fun to watch. So a couple of the most unhinged games that we've got happening right now in the NCAA is obviously the Egg Bowl. Kickoff is at noon Eastern. Started in 1901. It's just pure in-state hatred. I don't know why this game is as interesting as it is, but I think no one really cares because we're just all on the Lane Kiffin show watch.
I agree. I think that the implications of everyone's kind of waiting until the end of the game to see what's going to happen. I think Mississippi State has everything in the world to play for. There's nothing, like with all these rivalry games, there's nothing better than ruining a team's season. And I think if Ole Miss loses this game to Mississippi State and their head coach leaves, they're out of playoff contention. So I think in Starkville, there's been a lot of locker room material around. We can ruin their season. I think Auburn probably in the back of their mind has the same thing going. Same with Texas and Texas A&M. So I think that's going to be kind of the underpinning of a lot of these rivalries is we can ruin their season. We can ruin their playoff hopes. But I think even more in the state of Mississippi with that brutal hatred that there's a lot on the line for Ole Miss. And to your point, everyone's kind of waiting to the end of the game to see what that announcement looks like too.
For sure. All right. So Egg Bowl, Ole Miss versus Mississippi State. Dads, what are your picks?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm picking Ole Miss because there's trouble in the Delta. There's just too much brewing with those two teams. You know, I looked at the Mississippi record. They played very competitively. They rolled up over 300 yards on Georgia, although Georgia rolled up over 500 on them. But they still played competitively. But I'm going to have to go with Ole Miss.
With Colonel Reb, right? Colonel Reb, not the Bears, not the Land Sharks, not the SIP.
They have such identity issues. It's not even funny.
I'm going with Ole Miss. I just think that they've got a powerful team. Everybody on their team plays hard, and I think Kiffin's just a great coach. I think he's got it going on, and I don't understand why he'd even want to move other than just like as a negotiation tool. I don't think that's the only thing he's doing. I think he's staying, but that's a different discussion. A whole show for it.
I think he's staying too.
I think he's staying.
So coaches don't chase the money.
He's going to get the money. It won't be a problem with the money.
There's so much money that is being thrown around. I don't know. I just feel like it's not about the money for him. I think he is I don't want to say he's unhinged, but Lane is very strategic. And I think that if anything, if he goes anywhere, it's not going to be about the money. It's going to be about giving a big middle finger to former employers, former coaching staff, that it's all about just shoving it in someone else's face for Lane.
But if he was going to stay, would he not have said that earlier? I mean, he's a showman, right?
Well, he did say that he wasn't going to go anywhere. He did say that he wanted to stay in Oxford, but I don't think that he was expecting the type of offers that are coming in right now. I don't think he was expecting $90 million and unlimited NIL. And I don't know. I think that he has such a bone to pick with Nick Saban that he could potentially go to an LSU just to stick it to him. I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of how he rocks these days.
But you have to keep in mind one thing. The governor's going to be involved in making that decision. And that contract is going to be loaded with all sorts of clauses that will determine whether he gets a big payout if they fire him or not. And I think that might cause him to stay where he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a place where they're going to name the stadium after him. They're going to build a statue. Like he's a god there. He's got it made. He's got a program that's on the trajectory to win playoff games and hopefully be in, title contention. Why would you leave that?
I don't.
He's only been there like 4 years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And
I
he's got the
know.
winningest record of any coach ever in the history of Ole Miss.
Yeah, for sure.
Record
It's
of
like
any
so
coach,
crazy.
including Johnny Vaught.
Well, I mean, and probably a couple combined. Combine
Yeah.
a couple of those coaches and their records, and he's still ahead of them.
True. Very true.
So Texas and Texas A&M is an interesting one. And
Yeah.
I think this one's really interesting because they haven't played this game for so long as
Mhm.
in-conference rivals that I read that Texas A&M has been able to say, like, we have held the record against Texas in Austin. Like, they haven't beat them in Austin in 15 years. I think that's the last time that they played was 15 years ago in Austin, and
Yeah.
Texas A&M won that game. So they're telling Texas like, you haven't won in Austin in 15 years, which is kind of like fun and crazy, right?
So
But I
crazy to
think
think
that
of that.
streak's going to continue. I think Texas A&M is going to roll over Texas.
I 100% agree. I think that Texas, I just don't see Texas coming back and, starting off the year with like a highly ranked defense. I don't see them coming back and going up against Texas A&M. We didn't talk enough about how well Texas A&M's defense held up all season long. I don't see Arch Manning coming back and like saving the season. I really don't. I think Texas A&M has Texas's number, and I think that they have earned their spot in the rankings. Like, end of story. Texas A&M has this.
And Texas A&M's, they're ranked third in the country, and they have played every bottom feeder school in the SEC in order to have kind of an undefeated season in the SEC. But Texas has played kind of the bottom feeders in the SEC too, and barely squeaked by, like the game that you were at, that double overtime game against Kentucky. I mean,
Yeah.
barely squeaked that one out.
Which is
And then
ridiculous. No one should be barely squeaking by Kentucky, ever. Like, I'm still wondering how Stoops has a job, honest to God.
And his name's being mentioned for a lot of these other jobs that are out there.
Don't know how.
I know.
Unless Kentucky is paying those schools to take him off their hands. That's the only way that makes sense.
Could be.
Yeah.
I think the Kroger money's stopping.
It could be. It's running Drew. Well, I mean, they are doing what they're supposed to do. They're funneling their money into a sport they know they can win, which is basketball. They should continue to do that.
All right, Dads, you think A&M's got this too?
I think A&M's absolutely on.
Without a doubt.
And they've already stamped their ticket to the SEC championship game, I believe, with the win last weekend. So,
They are good to go.
all right, so we turn to a couple other games in the SEC.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech in your home state.
I
mean,
love this. I love this. It's so great because I love how for the longest time we've always called Atlanta East Tuscaloosa. But the battle for Atlanta has always been between the Bulldogs and the Yellow Jackets. And it's so crazy because when we first moved to Atlanta, they didn't call it good old-fashioned hate. They called it the brains versus the bronze, which I've always found very, very accurate because we've never looked at Georgia Tech as a football powerhouse. But Brent Key has really put a lot of work into his program. I don't think that we should have ever slept on Haynes King. I do think that he has gotten a lot banged up over the season. Gunnar Stockton had a slow start with UGA getting into the position that he has now. They have a much more complete defense than they did at the beginning of the year. And I think it's just because they've finally actually been challenged because you can't play Marshall and East Illinois and the West Georgia School of the Blind and then say that your quarterback is a defined passer. So, with Haynes being hurt, he's going to play. With Gunnar kind of getting his ducks in a row, this is going to be a really tough game. High scoring for sure. I just know how Kirby operates in the second half of all of these games, and I don't want to root for UGA. I really want Tech to win this, but I might leave that undecided. But in my heart, I've got the Jackets taking this. An upset.
What's the spread?
14, 13 and a
Hot
half.
You playing the spread or you playing the actual win? Marissa,
What was that?
Are you playing the spread or the actual win, the outright
The
win?
actual win. Outright win. I think it's hard
I
for me.
thought the same thing.
Not me.
I don't think it's going to be.
Not on
I
it.
don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it could be close because I think that Georgia Tech. I mean, we can't forget that Georgia Tech and Georgia had us up until 1:30 in the morning last year for this game. So it's going to be a fight to the death.
I think for that reason alone, they are not going to let Tech spoil their season again this year. That locker room material has been up. A lot of these players played in that game. They are not letting Georgia Tech take 2 in a row. I think as Bama fans that we put on that hat, we
Yeah.
need Georgia to like slaughter Georgia Tech because we want that win that we had to look even better as we're fighting for our lives for a playoff contention.
Literally.
We are. For
Fighting
some
for our
reason,
lives.
we're fighting for our lives, which God, we've already had an episode on that. But we need Georgia. I think the more that they win by, the better that our win against Georgia looks. And that's kind of our key marquee circle that we have in this playoff conversation. A loss by them hurts us. So for that reason alone, I think you need to become a UGA fan this weekend.
Very calculated.
I mean,
All right.
we have to. Unfortunately,
Dads, all the dads.
I would love nothing more than for Georgia Tech to win this game, but as we need every little ounce of help that we can get on the Bama side of things,
Yeah.
we
All right.
need
Fair.
Georgia to win big.
All right. Fair enough.
Well, every time a team like a Georgia Tech plays a team like Georgia, it always boils down to who's got the depth. Fourth quarter reigns supreme.
Yeah.
Which I think
Yeah.
plays in
Dogs are
UGA's
gonna take it.
favor. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
By 17.
Okay.
Let's go back and check the records tomorrow. By
That's
17.
fine. That's fine because I own the correction corner on this show and I'm used to being wrong a majority of, but sticking to my guns. That's okay though. Okay. Georgia's got it all around. UGA is going to win this good old fashioned hate game. Another game that I think that we are watching is Vandy versus Tennessee. Now, Tennessee is not, they have not been anything to write home about right now. If anything, this is purely to spoil Diego Pavia's season. He's going for not only a Vanderbilt record that he's already broken, but an SEC record for most passing touchdowns as a quarterback, which he should be breaking records at 37 years old. But what do we think? Tennessee versus Vandy. Are they on upset alert? Does Josh have this, or is he going to get beat?
I think this game is going to be so close. It's too close to call.
Mhm.
I think that the game being in Nashville and Vanderbilt's finally completed stadium, it will be, I think Vanderbilt's going to take it. I just feel like I don't want to see any more about Diego Pavia's mom. Her doing
It's
the whole
so
Heisman
weird.
dance and, she needs to go away.
She's
The
proud of
thing,
her baby.
the Theo Vaughn angle, she's showing up to
It's
things with
gross.
Theo Vaughn, and I'm like, it's too
I
much.
know. Do you see
This-
the boots? She looked like Pretty
The boots
Woman.
are bad. I
Yeah.
know. I know.
There's-
She's skanky.
Also, Theo Vaughn is gross, so they deserve each other.
They're match made in heaven. But this whole that Pavia thinks that he's still in the running for the Heisman. Okay, great. Yes, you're a good quarterback, but you are not going to win the Heisman Trophy. So just sleep on that one and focus on the game. But I do
Well-
think that the things that he's done at Vanderbilt has been great. I think Clark Lee is an amazing coach. I think he's going to have that team ready to play, ready to win. I think the Joey Aguilar project that we thought was going to go really well did not pan out the way that we thought it was going to go this year. Heupel's in a bit of a rebuilding year, and I think if Vandy's going to take down Tennessee, this is the year they're going to do it.
Ugh, God, I
Spread's
hate.
like 2.5.
I know. I hate to agree with you.
I'll take the points.
Okay.
You're going to take the points?
Take the points in Tennessee.
Well, I think Vandy's going to take them down. I've watched them for a lot of years go up and down, but I think this year they've got a real shot at it.
And I think we've deemed that Pavia has no more years of eligibility, even though
Yes.
he's sued the NCAA a couple times.
He's probably going to go back into court just so that he can win a Heisman. It'll be the oldest Heisman winner of all time because he'll be 42.
Does he have a 401k, you think?
He's
He
taken
probably
his
has one.
he's taken his financial advice from Johnny Manziel, so who knows?
Yeah, so probably not. Probably not. My
Of
God,
all the guys to be your mentor, Johnny Manziel's not the top of the list.
at all.
It's
At
all the
all.
things you shouldn't do.
Goodness. Well, speaking of bad money advice, LSU versus Oklahoma. Since LSU can't get their ducks in a row and whether or not they fired their coach, although I do feel like I saw yesterday, officially fired Brian Kelly with cause or without cause. $54 million is going to be paid to him. A lot of distractions happening in Baton Rouge this week, and I don't know if that is going to help or hurt the players. Garrett Nussmeier has been deemed out. They've got Van Buren starting, which is going to be interesting because he's not been challenged enough in the last 2 games that he's actually played to determine his worth. I mean, he played really well against, what did they play? Western Kentucky or something like that. But, John Mateer's not been playing his best, but he's played well enough to where I think he could give LSU a spanking.
Oklahoma's going to run all over LSU. I mean,
Yeah.
all over them. I feel like LSU is now pulling their star players. I mean, Nussmeier's out. I mean, I don't know how his head didn't get ripped off in the Alabama game. I'm still haunted thinking about that. It was
Yeah.
horrific, horrifying. But I mean, now they're just throwing whatever they want in there to say, well, we had all these players out and that's why we lost.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's going to win by 3 scores.
I see that. Yeah.
At a minimum.
Yeah. I see that.
I was trying to find the spread on that game.
Do you have it?
For the LSU Oklahoma game, it is. When are they playing? Saturday?
11.5.
I'd take
Ooh.
Oklahoma.
11.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone up.
And it's in Norman. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That we will
Yeah,
definitely
it's
put money on that
over.
one.
Yeah, it's over for them.
So,
All
Riss,
right.
what about, I feel like I brought some bubbly. I brought some bubbly today, a different can, Archer Rose. I don't know if you've had this
Ooh,
one.
nice.
Delicious. Have you had Archer Rose?
No, but it sounds good.
Yeah. I actually had this I took the boys with some of my friends over to Urban Air, and they serve Archer Rose at Urban Air. So I was introduced to
Fun.
Trampoline Park one afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you what a big hit
It's
was
like
that
happy hour.
Chardonnay reserve from Purple Hands at Thanksgiving dinner last night. So everyone loved the Purple Hand Chardonnay.
Killed the whole bottle.
A bottle and a
It's
half.
hard to do. Purple Hands it's delicious.
It was very,
Very good.
very good.
Yeah.
Huge
Awesome.
hit. All right. Our favorite team that we love to hate, our favorite puckered butthole, Michigan versus Ohio State.
I want Michigan to win this
So
bad.
badly.
5 in a row, right? It would be 5 in a row. Weather forecast. Now I sound like Altitude Lou. Weather forecast is cold, 30% chance of snow, which I
Oh my
think is the game that Michigan
miserable.
wants to play, right? They want to
Oh,
play
yeah.
a ground game. They want to be able to throw it through the air with Carr kind of as a backup, but that plays right into their ground game. Keep it close. Kind of like last year, they wanted to keep it close heading into the fourth quarter, and then they win the thing on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Game plan. I think the game plan is the same this year. I think that the forecast helps them in this game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohio State has a couple of players with question marks around them. Like Jeremiah Smith has been out.
Yep. He's finally going to be back this year. Is their
How
running back, I mean, not this year, this game, Jeremiah Smith is back. Their running back is back. I think the theme of the day is going to be keep pressure on Sayin. That's the only way that they're going to win this game. So I don't know. It's going to be tough, but we've been saying this since the get-go. Ohio State is the most complete team in the nation. They've got the most complete offense, the most complete defense. Michigan just has to make sure that if they see weaknesses in either, they've got to go for it. I know this is not only for bragging rights, it's for revenge. I mean, it's a must win just for the sake of, bragging rights. They gotta make it happen. I want Michigan to win this so badly, but I can't count out how good Ohio State has looked all year, even though it's been cupcake after cupcake after cupcake. I'm not gonna say Michigan is a cupcake. They've done well enough, but
So if Michigan beats Ohio State, they have a chance to get into this playoff conversation,
yeah, for sure.
right? I mean, do you let them in? Maybe, probably. You beat the number 1 team.
Yeah, this late in the season, you
You've
beat the
got
number
a
1
good
team.
record.
You have to.
They might inch up to 12 if they win.
Yeah.
But I got to tell
Think
you,
they get in?
when you're below 10 ranking in this powerhouse league that they have now, it's not saying much. By the way, I want to give a shout out to the greatest orthopedic surgeon in Atlanta, Dr. Raines, who's going to be on the 50-yard line at this Michigan. And I told him after I met with him last week that I think you guys are going to take Ohio State down, but I wasn't serious. I had to wait till the surgery was done.
Yeah.
Depth on this one. I'm going with Ohio State. I think depth is gonna win this game.
Ohio State still has a lot to prove, even though they're the number 1 team. They have a lot to prove because everyone has just said we haven't seen them actually play a game this year. This
Haven't
is a game.
played anybody.
Yeah, this is like a bitter rivalry on the road in
Mhm.
horrible conditions. So I think Ohio State has as much to prove as Michigan in this one. I agree. I think Ohio State's going to pull it out, but
Mhm.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people expect.
So I have a really interesting fact about this rivalry game. So they call it the game. So within the world of college football, this rivalry is considered the game, and it's one of the oldest rivalries, having started in 1897. They say that it's so unhinged because Michigan literally avoid using the letter O the entire week leading up to this game, which is crazy. I don't even know how they
Really?
do that, but there are no signs that have the O in it. They don't even say, like, go Michigan because of the O. It's insane. But they have said that for years that they had to stop pep rallies because there were so many fights, and that in some instances, some businesses even close the Monday after because it sends each state into existential gloom.
Oh my goodness.
Number 2 most unhinged rivalry in college sports.
And now we're going to talk about the number one.
We are going to talk about the number 1. Speaking about existential gloom. All right.
We're representing that here.
The
And
most.
I'm fortunate enough to get to watch this game every year because luckily they put it on Thanksgiving weekend,
Mhm.
which you think about all the things that bring families together. There's a thing that can tear families apart just as quick.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not too mean towards each other.
No.
Not too
You're
bad.
my- you're-
I've
Be
gotten
easy
better
on
at that for
Dave.
sure.
It's your
I've gotten
daughter, Dave.
She's got thin skin. She's just
But it's okay because he's got the other daughter that he can love more when this is all over.
The facts just really upset her so badly.
Well, we have our Fear the Thumb year. Do you remember when that one was going around, Dad? Fear the Thumb? Yeah. So
Yeah.
this would be
Gosh.
6 in a row.
So
6 in a
triggering.
row for Bama.
And you're supposed to win 6 in a row. You're Alabama.
All right. So, Alabama versus Auburn, the iconic Iron Bowl game. This is very stressful, I think, for us as Alabama fans because it's a must win. And after
Auburn has
us,
no chance.
I don't know.
Well, on paper, I'm talking.
Yeah, on paper.
it's, man, I just don't, after seeing how Ty played versus Oklahoma, which was upsetting, I have a lot of feelings about how this game is going to go. Going in not feeling fully confident, seeing as our last game was not against anybody ranked, it was a cupcake. I feel like we needed to be challenged a little bit last week going into this week so that I know that we had all of our ducks in a row. Cuevas is not playing. God, I
That's a
just think-
killer. That is a and he's our 3rd and 4th down guy. That's a,
Unless
that
Kalen's
gives
got a
me
secret depth chart that
anxiety.
he hasn't shared with us, I don't know who's going to play tight end. I mean, we got Bernard, but I just don't. I don't know, Rach. I don't know. I might kick this over to the dads. Dads, what do we feel about the Iron Bowl?
Well, if you base it on what the lowest ticket price cost is for this game, which is about $300,
That's a steal.
I think that the Tide's going to roll pretty well against Auburn.
I think that's probably going to happen, but it is Auburn home game, and they are. That's a wonderful place to go to a football game, especially at night. And you never know. I think Alabama's got all the weapons, and Auburn's got a lot of holes. But they're getting better as the year goes. What's the spread?
6.5.
I don't.
That's
sticking with
that's
it,
not.
probably 6. I don't think they can keep it to 6.5. But I don't bet on games because
You don't
I'm
care
not
about
as smart
football.
as you two. You two you know the players' names.
Wait, well, I bet on football and I lose like every week, but I only bet $1 because I'm a sore loser.
So in the last several years, Bama is 4-7 in Jordan Hare. Like we
Mhm.
don't win there a lot, and that
Mm-mm.
gives me pause. Also, we don't win at night in Jordan Hare. That
2 things.
those 2 things scare me. In addition to we have no tight ends, and Ty doesn't play well on the road.
He doesn't play well on the road, and he doesn't play well under pressure. And there's a lot of pressure on this game because if we lose this game, we're out. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a must win for us.
And
God, it's
Auburn has to win this
heart-
game to be bowl eligible,
Yeah.
and this is like you can spoil Alabama's season. And like I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier,
This
that
a
is
year.
that is even more powerful than making it to a bowl game. Because if you can keep Bama out of the playoffs, like you did your job.
Mm.
And do we
So
think
we can
Jordan's
say
kind of
goodbye to the
a-
playoffs, goodbye to the SEC title game, goodbye to like probably Kalen DeBoer. I don't think they're going to get rid of him, but still, like it's going to be very, very stressful. So I hope that Ty has practiced patience because he doesn't really do well in the pocket under pressure, which is crazy because he's got so many people protecting him, but he holds onto the ball for so long and he panics. Like you can't panic in the pocket. You got to get out of there. Take care of your business. So we
I
will
think he
see.
has pretty good composure. He scrambles and makes good when he's running. He makes passes that are accurate on the run, which continuously surprises me after watching Milroe do his stressful antics over the last couple of years.
But
Like
they
having
kind of
somebody
do the same thing though, Rach. They kind of act the same under pressure. They're scrambling, they're going backwards, they're all over the place. Like holds onto the ball way too long. We saw that during Oklahoma. He has to be more decisive, and Jalen Milroe did the same exact thing. They have to be more decisive in the pocket. They can't hold on to the ball forever. Literally, there are people running towards you to come and get it. You have to
You,
get
you
rid
may
of it.
remember, Marissa, a few years ago, Auburn had a quarterback like that too.
Mm,
Bo Nix, you may have heard of him.
yeah.
He's improved.
That just
Yeah, I'd say
So
he's improved.
yeah.
there's a lot. The talent's there. What I'm saying is, he's got the talent. He will not let you down. He's got the talent. May not
Mm,
may not be ready on every single play.
yeah.
He will be ready.
Okay.
he steps up, and I think he always has a plan in his mind. He has a
Mhm.
plan of what he's going to do, and he has a plan if that doesn't work, what is he going to do? I
Yeah.
feel like Milroe didn't have a plan. If like
Yeah.
option A didn't work, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna like wing this."
Yeah.
So that was
He just
Johnny Manziel.
panicked.
He had the
Yeah.
skill. He had the
Mhm.
talent. He had the skill. If this doesn't work, I'll just sidestep this guy, and
Yeah.
then I'm ready to go again. So not
Mhm.
everybody's got that. And
It's true.
every time you go to the next level, you don't have it anymore. You might have thought you had it. Those next guys are way too fast.
Mm.
And
Reminds me of a guy that plays in the NFL by the name of Lamar Jackson, who just sometimes plays
amazing.
schoolyard football because if option A goes away, it's like, okay, time to improvise. That's why they got decimated last night.
Very true.
The epic fall of Baltimore has been a constant conversation point on this. It's just
I
like,
know.
why are they bad? Why are they bad this year?
We
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 can't.
might have to phone in and check in on our friend Adrienne. Make sure she's doing okay. I know this has been tough for her.
He's ready to fire Harbaugh.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
So I have to highlight my dad has this funny thing that he has been like keeping track of for a couple of years. He doesn't care about sports, but he
I'm,
has to listen to it because my mom likes
when I'm
sports.
watching the games, there's become a language that these broadcasters use, and they all use the same trite sayings over and over and over. Every time I hear one, I stick it in my phone. I'll give you a few. Put a hat on a hat. He high pointed the ball. He put his foot in the ground. Let's see. Trickeration. Physicality. Athleticism. He pinned his ears back. How about that one? That's a good
But
one.
yeah, I like
Mm.
that one.
Made something out of nothing. Used a spin move. That was a circus catch, or
Ooh.
he Swiss Army knife. The
Ooh.
kid's got a motor. They bend, but they don't break. The guy's a throwback. They're playing behind the chains. I mean, these guys use them over and over and over. It's all inside football, They put a spy on the quarterback. He called his own number, threw it to the back shoulder. They need chunk plays now. They've been on the schneid as of late. That's a good one. I like that. It's jokes. They're trying to punch their ticket. They're in plus territory. He dropped a dime. He threw into traffic, threw off his back foot. That's another good one they use a lot. They set the edge. He checked it down. Scoop and score. They're going tempo. They control their own destiny. Where was that one? They're in the conversation.
Yeah.
Used that a little earlier.
I know. I need these printed out. So, Russ, we'll print these out so we can
We
start
know
using.
what not to say.
Contain. He broke contain that time. They got the jumbo package in the game. They went to the well once too often. Anyway, that's going to make the highlight reel. And then there's many, many more. But every time I hear one, it's hard to get one now. I got the whole list.
Yeah,
Who
I
uses
guess so.
the most?
Those are good.
Herb Street uses the same ones over and over. Jesse Palmer uses tons of them. Joe Tessitore every once in a while. And I'm trying to think. Gary
All
Daniels
guys with fabulous hair.
of them. Brent Musburger was the key. He was the king of them all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my little addition. That's all.
Does
I
McElroy use any? I like listening to
McElroy
him.
does a few.
Yeah.
McElroy's good.
Yeah.
He's great.
I like
I love
McElroy.
listening to games he
Yeah,
calls.
he's really good.
Are there any guys you don't like listening to?
All of them. I don't really want. Now, a lot of people don't like Gary Danielson. I like the.
I do too.
Yeah, I like him. He's. I think he's got a ton of insight that most of these other guys are just talking heads. He understands what's going to happen. And the other guy on Pro Game, Tony Romo. Some people don't like the guy. I think the guy's got insight. Like, it's just amazing.
Better than Brady.
Yeah, I asked last night. I asked Dan, do you think Brady's doing a good job in commentating? He said, I don't know. I haven't heard him. We were watching the game
Yeah.
with Brady doing the commentating. He was
It's
the
a-
color guy, and it
He's like,
just wasn't much to
his
it.
face doesn't move. He's just,
Well, he's
I
got
think
about
he does a few
780
smart
units of
things that are
Botox in his
but
head.
He's not outstanding.
Why is he doing commercials to validate that he's a host on the NFL talk shows? I saw
That's
a commercial
what
saying,
you call it,
"Oh, he's a
Cardi.
great talk show." I'm like, "What?"
He's betting both ways.
and he's like part of the GM team with the Raiders.
Yeah.
So that's a three-way tie,
Conflict.
right?
Which is, I feel like, a little unethical, but whatever.
There's no ethics anymore.
Yeah, it's as long as the money's there, ethics are gone.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't placed any sports bets in 3 or 4 weeks because I think that's all rigged too.
It is rigged. I feel like, we can thank Chauncey Billups for confirming that for us. That's why I only do dollar
I
bets.
think my last sports bet was on a pool on the 1975 series. I didn't win, so I said I'm out on that.
That's too funny.
You also live in a state that betting is illegal.
Oh, that's
that
really
if you had the option, you still wouldn't
That's
do
not
it,
much
but
to do it.
like you couldn't have a DraftKings account even if you wanted one.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good thing.
Gotta get back to the Carolinas.
And
Okay,
why does
tell me your
Kansas City
dollar bet.
always win or lose by 3 points?
Because they suck.
I mean,
That's
come
our
on.
odds every week.
Mm,
In the last
Yeah.
4 seconds of the game, too. Heartbreaker.
forgot about Iowa. We had such high hopes for them at the beginning of the season.
No,
That's the way it goes.
it is the way it goes. 'Cause
Yeah.
The Oregon game was
That's
the
the way the ball
heartbreaker.
bounced.
They're a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Dan Lanning at it again.
Swiss Army knife. I got to remember that one.
I know. I feel like I need to start
I think
listening
that's
extra
Pavia,
hard.
right? Pavia, he's the Swiss Army knife.
Pavia is a little bit of everything. He's
Pavia is
a
like a
quarter
drunk drawer.
showman.
Pavia is a junk drawer.
Jump, boy.
Then when I get famous, I'm going to trademark it. When Reach and I get our show on ESPN, we're going to have all kinds of little jibs and jabs.
Well, Riz, I think our games for the day have started. Are you guys just going to sit around and do nothing?
I'm definitely going to watch this Ole Miss Mississippi State game and see how bad Lane puts a hurting on them.
Yep, that one's kicked off. The
It's
next
kicked
one
off,
up is
yeah.
Georgia Tech. So we've got a full day ahead of us. Dad, we got to
Oh.
get to moving these TVs. We're
Yeah.
we're going to be a 3 TV living room for the next
We're
couple
gonna
of
max
days.
out YouTube TV.
That's amazing.
Gonna use all the accounts.
There you go. You got to take
Well,
the most
Mississippi
advantage.
and Ole Miss tied 7-7.
Oh,
Okay.
so crazy. So crazy that's happening right now. Well, we will get to it, to watching some of these games. We will let you guys get to it as well. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
Great seeing
Bye-bye.
you all.
Dads. Bye.
I love you like la 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 la